Hey,
Hey,
there she is. Look,
look at that sign. Wow.
literally just made that like 5 minutes ago.
Love it.
So I got the radio head on. What are you rocking? Nice. Very nice.
One of my favorite bands.
Very, very cool. I actually saw them in concert. They were great.
You
AC/DC.
did?
Have you
Never
haven't
got
seen them?
to. No.
Well, I think they're still touring. So, all right. Well, you're gonna enjoy this. Okay. So, welcome to Make Your Own Fun. Here, she stuck around, folks. It's
I'm
Erin.
still here. Still here.
All right. So this episode is brought to you by the severely used 2013 Volkswagen Jetta. Have you ever thought, my life is going way too well? I need a daily kick in the crotch, but I can't kick myself. What can I do? I'll get a really used Jetta. That's what I'll do. Because you know what?
Yay.
It's not just a car, it's a money pit on wheels.
Yep.
And
Yep.
also, this episode is slightly brought to you by Heineken Beer. For when
Ooh.
your co host texts you and says, hey, can you record in like an hour? And you're at the store, it's the nearest beer to the door of the store.
I love it.
Oh God! So like any douchebag from a concert at the '90s, I'm gonna go ahead and
Oh,
pour that in
I'm
there.
still Dr. Peppering it
Whoa!
up.
Oh shit!
Oh, party foul.
That's okay. That's okay. So how are you?
Oh, living the dream. Friday is here.
And you know what? I gotta hand it to you, man. People have really taken to you on this podcast. They freaking love you. Like weird. Not okay. I'll take that back. Unusually named users
Best names ever.
have given you like
I'm gonna start next week. I'm gonna do some shout outs to those names. So people post your comments with the weirdest names possible. Like just update your YouTube to the most fucked up names you can think of, and I'll give you a shout out. It'll be great.
I know we have some topics, but I got to throw this out there because, like, I was, just at the store when you were texting me or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy, swear to God, I was just literally around the corner at the Smart and Final or the Dumb and First, whatever you want to call it. And he was just like, I need something more than a 12 pack. That's
not again.
15 pack. That's more. And then the I just saw the manager talking to the guy, and he was like, sir, we've been through this before. And I was like, I got to get the fuck out of here. I'm getting triggered. This
is a flashback to those good old days at the convenience store. So what is with people buying beer on Fridays that are bad at math? Is there a correlation?
You know what? It's like the weekend big like blowout sales.
You'd think that they'd figure out their math before they get to the store. No.
I think they left the math at home, maybe even before they went to work.
Amazing.
They were like,
these are our voters.
Have one of these, road beers. That I never understood.
Give me the green bottle. I don't care what it is. Anything. Booze.
Oh my God. I don't know if it's still around. There was this beer. Oh God, it was so horrible because it literally, the name of the beer sounded like the noise you'd make if you puked. It was a German beer. I want to say it was called Grolsch.
Yes, it was. I know exactly what like.
Is that still around?
Yes, it is.
Oh my God. It was just
also terrible beer.
Like the grocery store I worked at. We used to make fun of it all the time because we were like, who's sitting around like in a boardroom? Like, we have this product. We're going to sell it. Like, what do we call it? Like, let's make a beer for someone who's already puked.
You know what it was? I think it was that when they were actually saying the name, someone let out a really loud belch and it got misnamed.
So
that was it. It was like, this is belch beer. That's it. Done.
There you go.
It probably means something really cool in German, and we're just fucking.
I know. We're totally probably out of it, and it probably means like for rocket scientists only.
Right. So I know
Sure.
we have topics also, but I'm going to go on a real quick rant here
Okay.
about what happened to the valley. That should be a segment
Okay.
because for viewers and listeners, I moved to Simi Valley, the land of boring, and there's nothing out here. So I still go venture into the San Fernando Valley every now and then. And every day that I go back there, I find myself saying, what the fuck happened? So also, every time that I have stopped at a 7-Eleven, I have had to see a homeless man's penis. Can we please
Like on
discuss why?
display, or he's just like, welcome
Like
back.
laying out there in front of the door, passed out with it just hanging out for air, because you know the valley's so hot, right? So I've seen that. Women that look like they're half naked but pregnant, with no shoes on. I don't understand. So I just want to put it out there. If anyone listening has any ideas of why this is happening, I'm baffled. But it's only
They're
been
probably
2
like,
months.
Erin, you left. You were the voice of reason. Like, you could have been on like the city council and you could have made a difference, but you left to go live
Damn
a
it,
better
that's
life.
it.
So everyone else was just like, and fuck it.
Right? Giant mic drop, fucking all of it went to hell. That's it. All my fault. The valley has just completely become a pit of hell. So yeah, that
It's
was
like film at 11. What was once a thriving metropolis went to the depths of hell because of one woman who moved to
Yep.
There's a picture of you and your hair is like,
Right. Have you seen this woman? No. Yeah, no, that's literally it. Legit gone to hell. So the apocalypse is here. Get your bear spray.
Apocalypse, I think, showed up 2020, and we're just like
Right?
literally cleaning up the mess.
We're literally living in a movie. There are people out there watching this and laughing. This is life.
I think other countries are watching this, and they're just literally they have like they wouldn't be like us and be glutton and have like giant like liquid butter popcorn. They'd just be having healthy, like, I have
Right.
my of healthy snacks. Look at these
Right.
Americans, they're just
It's so true. It's true. We're a giant fucking Truman Show. That's it.
That is so
That's it.
true. It's so true.
Right? Let's ponder that. That's one for drinking beer and talking about later. That's for sure.
All right. Well, let me dovetail into, unless you wanted to go first with your concert story.
Mine's actually not as crazy as just bizarre.
Okay.
So I was actually trying to go see the Foo Fighters once, and they're like one of my all-time favorite bands. And I was trying to win tickets back when K-Rock was, a thing, and not everyone had satellite radio. And so I stood in this long ass line, and it turned out that I was in the wrong line to get tickets. So when Virgin Records existed, they always had these promos and things like that. So you'd wait in long ass lines outside and just hope that you'd get in to get a ticket to go to something. So I'm thinking I'm going to see the Foo Fighters. I've got my Foo Fighters gear on. I'm like in my slightly punk phase meets grunge. So, my ripped jeans, flannel, but with a fishnet shirt under a Foo Fighters t-shirt. It was a hot mess. And
hey, it worked, right?
Oh,
you made it work. Come on.
Yeah, I guess. I waited 2 hours to get to the front of the line to realize that I was getting an autograph from Tenacious D. But guess what? Not only did I get Jack Black singing to me, but I fell in love with the coolest fucking band ever. And if you all have not heard the song Fuck Her Gently, go listen to it right now. Best song ever.
I might have an add-on for that, and it might depend. It might depend, because I moved to California in 2002. Is that when you saw them?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh God, I had another story, but this might be better if it can add on to yours. Holy shit.
Go for it.
So I had a couple of jobs. Because this place is no longer there. One of my first jobs in LA was I was an usher at Universal Amphitheater.
That's awesome.
That's not where you saw them, right?
That was actually where I saw them.
So they did like a multiple night stay.
Yep.
And I got to meet Jack Black.
No.
Who was also there with John C. Reilly.
No way.
And during the encore of those shows, they brought out Liam Lynch, who had that song, "My United States
Yeah.
of whatever."
Yes.
You remember that song?
Yes.
I saw Kiki at the beach, and I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" She was like, and I'm like, "Yo, whatever."
Whatever.
So he was there, and I didn't realize, I didn't put it together until years later, that they were all there, probably talking about the Tenacious D movie.
That is literally when I saw them. Yep, that's 100% when I saw them.
God.
That's so funny. What are the chances?
Okay, so the gross true story add-on to that,
Yes.
which has nothing to do with you. So I was an usher, right? And one of my coworkers comes up and he's like, "Hey man, I gotta tell you something, like let's step out in the hall or whatever." And I'm like, "Whatever." And there was like 30-40 minutes into Foo Fighters set, and he's like, "Man, there's a girl here." I don't remember the name of the section she was in or whatever. He's like, "And she just loves the Foo Fighters, and like she just gets really tore up, man, during the opening act or whatever, and then she'll just start blowing guys."
What? That was not me.
Like,
not me.
No. And I preempted
classier
that.
than that. Come on.
That.
I wait till the second concert. No,
you're like, come on.
I can't.
So, and I was like, "Oh, whatever, man. That's gross, like what the hell." And then he's like, "Yeah, so all right, man. Well, I'm gonna go back to my section." And then a couple minutes later, my supervisor comes over and he goes, "Hey, Eric, can you go over to Mitchell's section? He kind of wandered off. I don't know where he is." I'm like, "Okay."
Done.
So I'm kind of wandering around, and then all of a sudden I look over, and then I just see him like walking up the steps toward the back of the amphitheater, and he's got this just stupid, goofy grin on his face.
Oh God.
And I'm like, all right. And I looked around and nobody was there. And like we went to the back of the amphitheater and we went like out into the hallway or whatever. And I was like, "What the fuck, man? You can't just leave your post." Like, what the hell? And he goes, and he's just sitting there and he's just kind of wistful, and he's just like, "In case you wondered, her name is Samantha." I was like, all right, creep, whatever. And then some time went on, and I was like, and I saw another coworker go down. I'm like, "What the? Come on, what is going on?"
Samantha.
Is she just is it Eggplant Friday? I don't know what's going on. So at some point I was like, at one point I just was like, "Fuck it," and I just walked down to the section. Biggest mistake, not of my life, but one of them.
What happened was
didn't lose my job or anything, but I went down to the section and I saw this girl, and she, like, I saw her head. It was like down lower enough eye, like sitting there, and then I was just like, "Hey, I'm ready for my turn," like yelling it because of the music. And she gets up and she literally stood up and she went like this, and she had like her purse in her hand, and she was like, "What?" Dude, like fucking just, I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then I remember just turning and then just eating the fucking punch into my eye.
Oh my.
And then I look over and I was like, "What the hell?" And then the guy's like, "This is not good customer service, motherfucker." And I was like, "Oh, sorry," or whatever. And I'm like fucking walking away. And I look over to another section, and that chick is leading a guy up into the bathroom.
Oh my God.
So what had happened was, when I went out in the hall and I covered the other guy's section, I had moved to a different section and just came down the wrong side of the amphitheater, made a complete, genuine, award-winning ass out of myself.
That's amazing.
I deserved it. I totally deserved it. Because, I mean, come on. He taps on some girl's shoulder at a concert and says, "Hey, it's my turn." The dude, I was just like, "Oh," and then I don't even remember.
That's amazing. Oh God. That's a horrible experience.
But you know what? Great story.
Right? That's usually where they come from.
I can't believe it that it's like, you were there at one of those shows?
Yeah. I also saw them again at a tribute show, and it was for Hurricane Katrina. And they had a tribute at the Wiltern, and I saw them there. After that moment, became like a huge fan. And it was literally that show, that random show that I wasn't even supposed to be getting tickets for.
That is so amazing.
Yeah. Also, Jack Black, if you're out there and you happen to be listening to this, I fucking love you. Marry me, please.
Okay, well, I don't know if my actual story I have is going to even compare to that, but I'll go into it here. So, as you know, there was a giant multi-day, multi-million dollar a dumpster fire that happened in the year 1999, known as Woodstock 99.
Oh yeah.
I was there. I'm happy to say
Wow.
that my friends, because we all went together from Ohio, that like didn't really participate in any of the shenanigans. Like we actually left on that Sunday before the crazy, horrible burning death
Right?
Lord of the Flies shit went down. We were like, oh, I don't really want to see Megadeth. I've seen the Chili Peppers. Let's just go. But one of the mornings, it was like Saturday or Sunday morning, and I can't remember if it was my friend John or my friend Corey. Like I just remember getting out of my tent and like being like bleary eyed and like I don't know where I was. I just walked up and I just saw him and he was just standing on like 30 feet away, just kind of going like this. And I was like, what the fuck? And I just walked over and I was probably still like hungover and I was like, what's going on? Hey man, morning. What's going on? And this story, okay, so do you know who Alf is?
Yeah,
Do you know who Foghorn Leghorn is?
of course.
So he does without turning to me, he just stands there and he goes, you know, Eric, it's not every day you get to see Foghorn Leghorn fuck Alf.
What?
And I was like, what? And he like literally went like this to my face and like 40 yards away, naked, both of them, except for wearing one was wearing an Alf mask and the other one was
Oh
wearing a Foghorn
my.
Leghorn, just going at it.
That's amazing.
And it was because all of the craziness and just hundreds of thousands of people
Yeah.
walking by, they got their roll of toilet paper, they got their toothbrush, they got their acoustic guitar, they got their granola, they got their breakfast burrito. They're just walking by and they're just going at it. And I was like, huh. And I was like, so how long you been standing here, man? He's like, yeah, we should go get some breakfast.
That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
let's do that shit.
I can't believe you went to that.
I mean, you don't know ahead of time. I mean,
And you
look at
kind
it
of think
this
like, oh,
way.
it's a moment of
You know,
history.
a lot of that horrible stuff happened, but like I said, we were already on the road. We left like midway through Sunday. I got to
Right.
see James Brown,
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
and I never would have had the opportunity again.
Yeah.
And to know, like, when I was in my 20s or whatever, and the guy was in his 70s, and he danced
Right?
better than I ever would. And he's literally with his dance moves and his calls and everything. He's signaling the band and like guys
That's
would
cool.
step forward and just like do a crazy solo and just within like a
Yeah.
snap of a finger they're back in the pocket and these amazing female backup singers would just come out and they just sounded like better than anything you heard on the radio. And again, he would just be like snap 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 and they just fade into the background. So
That's so cool.
when he played I Feel Good, like
That
it
must have
was
been
just
amazing.
amazing to see like 300,000 people just like dancing. This is literally how white people danced in 1999. Hold on, I'm missing the key accessory. You ready?
Yeah. That's still how they dance. What are you talking about? Oh my God. That's like the white lady rock, move right there. Or the one hand up, always. Yeah.
You also
Yeah.
got to see though. I got to see Digital Underground
Oh my God. I haven't thought about that
play
in a long
with
time.
Parliament Funkadelic.
That must have been amazing.
And then and then George Clinton's all of a sudden he's playing and it's like, all right, let's get this Humpty dance over with. I was like, he knows.
That's
One hit
amazing.
wonder. He knows. He knows.
Yeah, he knows.
And he comes out.
He's probably like,
To this day, I mean, you've got like hundreds of thousands of people saying stupid, insipid lyrics like, I use a word that don't mean nothing like lupid. Once got busy in a Burger King bathroom.
the fact that you know all of that is pretty amazing.
My head is filled with useless knowledge.
Big fan.
So tell me, you have to. I know you've gone to a lot of concerts. What else have you been through?
Oh my God. Well, half of them I don't remember because there was a big chunk of my life that is kind of a blur. I have shards of memories, but
Is that one of those? We need to call her a cab.
Oh, yes, yes. Or we should have called her a cab. How did she get home?
You
She
should have
doesn't
stayed in
even
the
know.
cab.
Yeah, let's play that game of how did you get home? Because there were many times that I have no clue how I got home. So don't drink like that, kids. But I do actually have a really cool experience. I got to working, so I got to work with VH1 on they did a lot of sponsorship for nonprofits, and I was working for an autism company and in marketing, and it was like my first like big kid job, so I thought I was super cool, early 20s. I got to do a charity bowling tournament with musicians, so
Ooh.
I thought I was just working, doing, taking the like checking people in, taking their coats, entering raffle bids, stuff like that. And I actually ended up getting to bowl with celebrities, and the winning like team was the team that won like an event like that they got to host with another child that was autistic and a family, and it was this whole fundraiser. So I ended up filling in for someone that didn't show up, and they said we need this spot needs to be filled. I get to bowl with Billy Gibbons from
What?
ZZ Top and Slash, and it was hands down the coolest experience because Billy Gibbons is a very cool dude. Slash is like someone's dad. He's like he'd be like your like
I heard he's
nerdy
very shy.
orthodontist. He's just a cool dude, like a normal guy. And Billy Gibbons is like real slick. He's real cool, man. So I just got to, once I got over the like 15 minutes of profusely sweating because I was so nervous, it was an amazing freaking experience. And another way that I got into music that I never listened to. So ZZ Top is now one of my like all-time favorite bands. So it's
That's
these weird
awesome.
moments in living in LA where I really didn't even mean to be there.
I've always wanted to ask him. I mean, I've never ran into Billy Gibbons, but I've always wanted to ask him, like, were you drunk when you recorded Lagrange?
I'm pretty sure he was.
Because I mean, you hear all of their other songs, and it's like such
Yeah.
a clear, straightforward vocal, and you hear
Yep.
that song, and he's like, ha 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 ha.
Yeah. Yeah, for
And I'm
sure.
like, you know what though? It works for the song because it
And
sounds
he
like a
talks like
barroom
that.
band.
He sounds just like the same, that the way he sounds in singing, he sounds the same in real life.
Do you know who is? They will never admit this, but who is trying, I think, to eventually take whenever ZZ Top retires, who's trying to take over and sound like them. I think anyway is the Black Keys.
Oh, totally. You totally get that vibe, that sound. Yeah.
Like
For
when they
sure.
first started, I was like, oh, okay, I can see why Jack White's pissed because they sound a lot like the White Stripes. And then
Yeah.
now I'm like, okay, well it was just initially just the two guys.
Yep.
And then every YouTube clip I've seen, it's like 4 or 5 guys on a stage, and I'm like, oh, I
Right.
see. We
Definitely.
have 5 guys. We want to make it sound like 3.
Exactly. He'll never
Yeah,
be
you have
ZZ Top.
another crazy concert story?
That's
Or
all I got. That's all I got.
there's some I probably shouldn't tell, but
Eh,
after the ones I've already told, right?
yeah, I think we'll stick with Samantha.
That was just one of those things where it was
Hey,
like,
Samantha, if you're out there, share your
right,
story. We'd love to hear it.
share your tale. In fact, why don't you just, go to a publisher and tell all?
Yeah, let's do a special, a tell-all 2-part series.
Oh my gosh. So the other topic that we were talking about, which I thought was pretty ripe because you've worked in a lot of offices. Office
yes.
pranks. Do you have one for that?
Oh yes. It's actually where you and I both worked.
Almost drank to
The
that. That would have been decorated all over the screen.
cemetery and mortuary that shall remain nameless, but is pretty famous if any of you know it in Los
The
Angeles.
water park by the 405. Yeah, I know.
The water park by the 405. That's right. Yeah, so that place was like full of pranks, which you really wouldn't think at a cemetery and mortuary, but you got to make it fun, right? Otherwise you're just thinking about death all day, which isn't pretty. I mean, I guess it's cool if you're gothic, but so we took a speaker and put it behind the sofa in the lobby and connected it to it was a Bluetooth speaker, connected it to YouTube on an iPad, and played a meowing sound of a cat. And the
Oh,
two were, so if you walk in the doors, you walk right in the doors and you're facing this reception desk, remember? And there were two wonderful ladies that sat at the front. And one was more personality wise, more colorful than the other. Your typical crotchety lady, the lady of many complaints, I'll put it nicely. And so it was always fun to, what?
I said nicely, she says.
Yeah, I'm trying to be as nice as possible in case she's out there. But yeah, okay, she was a bitch. I'll just say that. There we go. So anyhow, she really deserved a good prank. And I think it had been a long week. We had all had it. So we hid this speaker and started out really quietly playing meow every so often. It was like and then it became a more aggressive cat in heat sound, but we let it go. So it was like once every hour, and she flipped out and had the janitorial department. And I'm not talking one custodian, two, like 5 custodians tearing the place apart, looking for a cat she was convinced was in the wall. Now, how it got in the wall, we don't know, but we hid the speaker in the couch under the cushion. So every time she moved the couch, it was still there and she never saw it. So this went on for 2 days.
2 days.
2 days. And then we finally couldn't take it anymore. And I thought that was enough to drive her to quit. But no, folks, she's probably still there.
Oh, God.
But it was just to watch someone's face and even when the different maintenance people were moving the sofa, we would play it every so often. And they were like, oh, there's a cat here. And it was hands down the best prank I've ever taken part in. Wasn't my idea. I cannot claim that, but I did keep it going and it was amazing.
That is amazing. Like anything that you can do that's on a small level, that's like a slow burn build.
It's almost like waterboarding.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's one. So years ago, way before our mutual business, I had a temp job. Strangely enough, you're gonna laugh. As a telemarketer.
No.
Hey, when you're between.
Were you selling siding?
No, right?
Oh, okay.
Wouldn't it be funny if I pranked myself?
Right? Like, hey, it's you.
Hey, it's me. But there was this woman that worked at this place, and just a stone cold bitch. Just no joy, no sense of humor, no kind of
soul.
Human apparatus going on.
I believe you're looking for soul.
Right. Just.
Yes.
And there was a girl that started like a couple weeks after me, and she was supposed to train this girl because she was really green, like early 20s, hadn't had a lot of work experience. And one day I came back from lunch or something, and somebody told me like, yeah, she like really laid into her and told her like she was a useless cunt and she shouldn't be. And then I was, she shouldn't be working, and she was like a daddy's girl and blah, 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 and a rich bitch and all this stuff. And I was like, where was like HR during all this? And like,
right.
Everybody was out to lunch, and there was like some meeting, and they didn't have cameras or whatever, so they missed all of it. So it was all hearsay.
Wow.
And then I went with another coworker, and she and I talked to the girl like in the break room, and she's just like, I don't understand like what I did, and I'm just trying, and like this is only like my 3rd job, and I just want to do a good job. And I was just no. She's a bitch on wheels. Like we're gonna help you out. Like, and then the other lady was like, she's like, honey, like come with me, like I'll train you, like or whatever. And I don't know why I just had this. I'd only been there like 6 weeks, but I must have had this reputation around the office or whatever, because the other lady turned to me and she goes, Eric, you know what to do. And I was like, I do? I guess I do. So after like 5 o'clock and that crazy psycho lady left for the day, we removed one of the wheels from under her chair. And the next morning we put like Gorilla Glue or whatever, like right before she got there, on her headset.
Oh no. Oh no.
And it was like the clear, I don't know, there was some kind of, it might not have been Gorilla Glue, but some kind of clear, really clear, like crazy cement glue. And so she put him on and she started working or whatever, and she looked for that one girl, and she was just kind of gave up on her. And then when the manager called her for something like a meeting, she got up and literally like the chair came out from under her and her head jerked to the side like this. And it was just like such a motion or whatever that the plug for the headset came out and just whacked her on the head, and she just fell down, and she got up. And then literally when she got up and was like looking around, and she was literally like gonna be like a cave woman, like, and then she just started to say something, and then she went like this. And just, like, was pissed and just ripped the headphone off, and a big chunk of her hair all around her ear came off, and it was bleeding. And somebody walked around the corner and had their camera and their camera or whatever. I don't know if it was a phone camera or regular camera, and she was like, "Smile, bitch," and then went and sat back down and just pretended like nothing happened. And the lady was just like, "Touche." And then she pretended like nothing happened, got on her
what, with missing hair, a bloody head, a broken leg?
Well, because it was one of those like, I'm not gonna let these fuckers get me down or whatever. And then HR came later and she's like, "Honey, I think you've had kind of a rough morning. Maybe you need to go home." And she's like, "I'm fine." She's like, she's like, "We're not asking. You need to go home." And like 2 weeks later, she quit.
Yeah, your face is falling off. You need to leave.
And like I said, my coworker and I that did all that, we had no idea that all that stuff it was like a perfect storm.
That's amazing.
The wheel, and then like the crazy glue, and then her being pissed and jerking her head, and the thing going whoosh.
Oh my God. Karma's a bitch.
So believe it or not, we only got like 10 minutes left. So
really?
Yeah, I know, it's going fast, man.
Oh my God.
We'll hit up that last topic. So do you have anything, what did we say? That it was like you regretted that you didn't say in an argument?
Yes. It wasn't necessarily just in an argument, but I have had a moment where, and this haunts me. So if this woman is out there, I apologize. But have you ever seen someone go to the bathroom and come back from the bathroom and they turn around and they still have all the toilet paper hanging out of their pants? Okay, so this woman, I remember I was in an Italian restaurant in Santa Monica, and it was packed. And this nice old lady in her like 70s, she's probably dead by now, sadly. This was a long time ago. But she just walked down, she's strutting her stuff, looking cute. And she's got her white pants on and a little top, and she's feeling good. She's like, "I'm good. I'm there. I'm with my old man. This is great." And she goes to walk around the table, and it happens to be right in front of me. She turns around and she's got like half the roll of toilet paper just hanging out of her ass.
Oh God.
I should have said something. I didn't. I was awkward. I didn't know what to say. Do I say it? Do I not? Do I say it? Do I not? I said I don't. I ended up not saying anything. And I still think about this lady and her toilet paper ass all the time. So hopefully she wasn't too embarrassed, but she did have to walk through the entire restaurant strutting her stuff to get to her seat at the front of the restaurant. So should have said something.
I know, but you were probably like, "You go, girl."
Right? And then she turned around and was like, "Oh,
fuck.
Shit, you have a toilet paper tail." Fuck. Yeah, so, I really should have said something. There's
a lot
too many
more personal than that.
Yes. Let's hear yours.
Well, I will not say any names, but a few years ago, my girlfriend and I were having, girlfriend at the time, were having an argument, and we were in the kitchen, and we were actually preparing, like getting ready to prepare like a meal. So we were like in the cupboards and the drawers and the fridge, and I don't know what I said, but she was just like, all of a sudden she turned around and she was like, "You motherfucker!" And I was like, "Bring it on!" And then we got into it, just stupid, like the arguments always start with the stupidest crap, right? Yeah. And then she was like so many women told me in arguments in my life, which is, you never should ever here's some advice. Never end an argument with, "I don't need this shit."
Oh
Throw
yeah.
your hands up and then try to leave the room. So
Yeah.
she
You're not
literally was
getting
like,
out alive.
she took a step away, like we were on opposite sides of a counter, and she was just like, "I don't need this shit. Fuck you." Ah. And then I was like, "What?" And before I could say anything, she turned around and walked right into the open cabinet door. And right before she had done that, she had a bottle of olive oil, and she was
Oh.
throwing it at me like this, and I was just like that. So of course, hit her head, took a step back, slipped on the
Oh
spilled olive oil,
God.
fell down, and then as she was falling, she grabbed the tablecloth,
Oh
sit
no.
down, fucking glass bounced off the top of her head, and I was standing there, and I was just like, and then
You
at the
didn't
end
say
she got
anything?
up, and I was like, so I didn't say anything, but this is where I correct everything, okay? And I was the good boyfriend without saying anything. I helped her up, brought her, guided her over to the couch, and she turned to me, and I was just like, "Give me a minute." And I walked over, got a Ziploc bag, got some ice out of the fridge, brought it over, and said, "Here, just put this on your face." And I sat on an opposite couch.
That's
from her,
very
and I
nice
was
of you.
just, let her, she could have still been spitting nails for all I know. But I do regret not saying, like, "Don't turn around."
Yeah, no.
But holy shit. But it was one of those things where I was like,
I don't
it's
think you
like
even have the
that thing
time.
inside of you where it's an evil, horrible thing where it's like, "I want to win."
Yeah.
Jack Black says in Nacho Libre, right? "I want
Mm-hmm.
to win."
Yes. Oh, Jack. Jack, come find me.
Do you have another one? Come on, there's got to be stuff.
I don't, man. No, I keep thinking about all of your stories and people falling and hurting their faces, man. What's going on?
Well, it's like an argument, and it's like, here's another thing: don't ever have an argument in the kitchen. There's utensils, there's knives,
Yeah,
there's
way
rolling
too many
pins,
options to get things
a lot
thrown
of
at you that could kill you.
projectiles.
Yeah, no, definitely
The
not.
last
Have
thing
it
you
out
wanna
in
hear-
open space where you can run.
Yeah, last thing you want to hear when a fight is over is like, "That was my grandmother's," and it's like in pieces, and you're like, what?
That sounds like a terrible fight. Did you stay together?
For a couple more months.
A couple more kitchen fights later?
No more kitchen fights. I think we both were just
Oh
like,
my
yeah,
God.
that was awful. And it only lasted like 3-4 minutes tops, from the point of like, "Fuck you," to getting the ice and putting it in the Ziploc and everything. So
it's so funny. I used to not speak up, and I think in my getting old, my old age, my almost 40s,
as I'm older than you, I can say, "Fuck you, man. Go ahead."
I'll always be younger. I stopped caring. I stopped giving a fuck. I don't know. Is it worth it? I pick my battles, but there are times when I wish I stood up for myself when I was younger or said something instead of just like, "Yeah, well, and then I had nothing to say because it wouldn't come out. Now I got to watch what I say.
Like
Now
my
it's the
grandfather used to
opposite.
say to me years ago, he used to say, when it comes to relationships, "Do you want to be happy or do you want to be right?"
Yeah, that's called yes, dear. Yes, dear. Whatever you
I will
say.
take out the trash, even though it smells like fish and Indian food and a dead animal. Yeah, I'll take it.
And when women say, "Honey, can you please take out the trash?" we don't mean in 2 days. We mean get the fuck up off your ass and take out the fucking trash because it's overflowing. And no, you can't just keep jamming things in there till it's compact. It doesn't work.
Look, I purposely bought this model airplane so I can still shove it in there. I don't really want the airplane.
No, you don't need to get out like a tamping rod or a shovel and push down the trash.
Look, I specifically stopped at the hardware store so I can use this triple flange plunger.
Take the damn trash out. Gentlemen, get off your ass. Take the trash out. That's what I have to say.
Whoa, that was an abrupt ending. See you next time, guys. Peace out.